Loci. Demonstrate general understanding of currency futures, swaps, and options in managing exchange rate risk. Currency futures are standardized contracts to buy or sell a currency at a predetermined rate on a future date. They allow firms to lock in exchange rates and reduce uncertainty in international transactions. Futures are typically exchange-traded and require margin deposits. Currency swaps involve exchanging principal and interest payments in different currencies between parties. Swaps are useful for managing long-term foreign currency financing exposures and aligning debt obligations with revenue streams. Currency options provide the right, but not the obligation, to buy or sell currency at a specified rate. Options offer flexibility and downside protection while allowing participation in favorable exchange rate movements, though they require premium payments. Csca. Define contingency planning and explain its role in managing strategic risk. Contingency planning involves developing predefined action plans to address potential adverse events or unexpected changes in the business environment. It recognizes that uncertainty is inherent in strategic decisions and prepares organizations to respond quickly and effectively. Effective contingency plans identify critical risk scenarios, assess potential impacts, and specify alternative actions, responsibilities, and communication protocols. These plans may include backup suppliers, emergency financing arrangements, or alternative market strategies. By incorporating contingency planning into the strategic process, organizations enhance resilience, reduce reaction time during crises, and protect operational continuity. This proactive approach strengthens long-term performance and supports sustainable competitive advantage. The role of Csca. Demonstrate understanding of the benefits of integrating risk management with strategic planning. Integrating risk management with strategic planning ensures that risk considerations are embedded directly into major business decisions rather than addressed separately after strategies are formulated. This alignment enables management to evaluate both potential returns and associated uncertainties simultaneously, leading to more balanced decision-making. Strategic initiatives such as market expansion, acquisitions, innovation investments, or financing choices are assessed not only for profitability but also for risk exposure and resilience. Integration improves capital allocation by directing resources toward initiatives that provide the best risk-adjusted returns. It helps organizations avoid excessive exposure to a single risk factor, such as geographic concentration or customer dependency, and strengthens long-term sustainability. By embedding risk thinking into strategy discussions, organizations enhance transparency, improve stakeholder confidence, and build adaptive capabilities. This proactive approach supports competitive advantage by ensuring strategies remain viable under changing environmental conditions. Loci. Describe the cyclical nature of risk management and explain why it is ongoing. Risk management is a continuous, cyclical process involving risk identification, assessment, response, monitoring, and review. As internal operations and external environments evolve, new risks emerge while existing risks change in magnitude or probability. Therefore, risk management cannot be treated as a one-time activity. Economic conditions, regulatory changes, technological advancements, and competitive shifts constantly alter the organization's risk profile. Regular reassessment ensures that mitigation strategies remain relevant and effective. Monitoring key risk indicators provides early warning signals for emerging threats. Because strategic objectives, capital structure, and operational processes change over time, risk management must evolve accordingly. Ongoing evaluation strengthens resilience, enhances organizational learning, and supports long-term strategic alignment in dynamic environments. Loci. Define enterprise risk management, and identify key objectives, components, and benefits. Enterprise risk management, is a comprehensive, organization-wide approach to identifying, assessing, managing, and monitoring risks across all functions and strategic levels. Unlike silo-based risk management, considers interdependencies among risks and aligns risk oversight with corporate objectives. Key components of include establishing a risk governance structure, defining risk appetite and tolerance, identifying and assessing risks, implementing response strategies, monitoring performance, and communicating risk information throughout the organization. The objectives of are to protect organizational value, enhance decision-making, reduce earnings, volatility, and ensure regulatory compliance. Benefits include improved strategic alignment, stronger internal controls, enhanced transparency, and increased stakeholder confidence in long-term sustainability. Loci. Identify and explain the key steps in the risk management process. The first step in the risk management process is risk identification, which involves recognizing internal and external events that could affect strategic objectives. This may include operational, financial, strategic, or hazard risks. Comprehensive identification ensures that significant exposures are not overlooked. The second step is risk assessment, where risks are evaluated based on likelihood and potential impact. Qualitative and quantitative techniques, such as risk matrices, sensitivity analysis, or probability models, help prioritize exposures. The final steps include risk response, implementation, monitoring, and review. Management selects appropriate treatment strategies, implements controls, tracks performance through key risk indicators, and continuously reassesses exposures to ensure alignment with evolving strategy and risk appetite. LOSO. Define strategic risk management as a component of ERM. Strategic risk management is a subset of enterprise risk management, ERM, focused specifically on identifying, assessing, and managing risks that could prevent an organization from achieving its strategy and long-term objectives. These risks often arise from competitive shifts, technological disruption, regulatory changes, flawed strategic assumptions, or misaligned business models. Unlike operational risks, strategic risks directly threaten the organization's value proposition and competitive positioning. Strategic risk management integrates risk evaluation into strategy formulation and execution. Management assesses whether proposed initiatives align with risk appetite and whether assumptions about markets, competitors, and economic conditions are realistic and sustainable over time. By proactively identifying risks to strategic objectives, organizations can adjust plans, allocate capital more effectively, and develop contingency responses. This strengthens resilience and improves the likelihood of sustained competitive advantage. LOSP. Demonstrate an understanding of the COSO ERM framework. The COSO ERM framework provides a structured approach for integrating risk management with strategy and performance. The updated framework emphasizes governance and culture, strategy and objective setting, performance, review and revision, and information, communication, and reporting. It positions risk as integral to value creation rather than solely a compliance requirement. COSO ERM begins with defining mission, vision, and risk appetite. It then requires identifying and assessing risks that may affect strategic objectives. Risks are prioritized based on likelihood and impact, and appropriate response strategies are selected. The framework promotes continuous monitoring and improvement. By aligning risk management with performance measurement and reporting, COSO ERM enhances transparency, strengthens internal control systems, and supports long-term organizational sustainability. Risk management synthesis. LOSQ. Synthesize scenario information, evaluate risk management, and recommend improvements. Evaluating a company's risk management requires assessing whether risks are comprehensively identified across strategic, financial, operational, and hazard categories. The analysis should determine if risk appetite is clearly defined and aligned with corporate strategy. Weaknesses may include silo-based risk oversight, inadequate monitoring systems, or failure to link risk assessment to capital allocation decisions. The evaluation should consider governance structures, board oversight, internal controls, and the effectiveness of communication channels. Indicators such as recurring losses, compliance failures, or unanticipated disruptions may signal deficiencies in the existing risk framework. Recommendations may include implementing or strengthening ERM processes, enhancing scenario planning, defining key risk indicators, improving cross-functional communication, or aligning incentives with risk-adjusted performance. Effective improvements increase resilience, reduce volatility, and support sustainable strategic execution.